I now have over 1,000 videos on this channel. And consistently, one of the most engaging, popular videos on this channel of over 1,000 videos is the one where I pointed out the fact that despite living here in Nashville, Tennessee for over a decade, I guess 12, pushing 13 years, I have never seen a homeless person who is Mexican. And that's a big deal. We got to really put that in perspective. When you live in a city like I do, where there's so many homeless people, and just to put it in perspective, they even have their own like newspaper that they sell for like $1 or something at red lights and stop signs to support the homeless community themselves. Like, there's a lot of homeless people in Nashville. With that being said, I've seen them, and I'll tell you, they're white, they're black. They're not Mexican, they're not Hispanic, they're not Latino. I've never once seen a homeless person who is Mexican, ever. Now, people have left comments and said, well, come to California and you'll see them. Okay, well, and my wife's from there, so I do go there once a year, but I'm in Sacramento when I go. I'm not in Los Angeles or wherever that it is that I could actually see a homeless Mexican person. I've yet to see it in my lifetime. I'm sure are exceptions to the rule, but for the fact in Nashville I never see them, tells me a lot about Mexican people taking care of their own and taking jobs here in the United States that people who are born here aren't willing to take because it doesn't pay enough money. Mexican people will do it. They will not end up asking for money. They will not end up homeless. Nothing else, they've got people in their own family and community that will take them in and support them. So there's that video. Well, I made another video recently where I was asking the question, do people, like say example, in Europe, do they see people who are Mexican as somewhat exotic? Because why would there be that many Mexican people living in Europe, for example? So I was asking that question. We were learning, engaging on that. And then someone had pointed out that where they are in Europe, that there's Mexican students who come there to study abroad. And when I saw that comment, what it made me think of is, that doesn't match my perception of what I have seen and known about Mexican people. In the same way that I've never seen a homeless Mexican person, I've never seen an extremely wealthy Mexican person. And by that, I mean having enough money to go all the way to study abroad. I'm fully aware that there's a lot of people who are wealthy and Mexican, and I'm confident there's a lot of wealthy Mexican American people. But what I'm saying is, and this is one of those fact versus truth. Fact, are there extremely wealthy and moderately wealthy Mexicans and Mexican Americans? Absolutely yes. That's fact. But truth, how many have I ever met or seen? I've never seen one. In the same way I've never met a Mexican homeless person. I'm sure they exist. Certain people say, here's the numbers. But for me, that's zero. And then we could say this is a fact, at least. Fact versus truth. Fact. I've never met a homeless person that was Mexican. I've also never met a Mexican person that was noticeably wealthy in any way. And that's with my own family included, because however you want to divide it up, a quarter of my family, Mexican Americans, nobody in that family seemed to have a lot of money. I'm not saying they were poor, but maybe lower middle class at best. I don't know. I can't think of anybody in my family that just really seemed to be doing so well that, hey, let's just go to Europe and let's study abroad. No, that wasn't my version of reality. Not only that, but no one in my life have I ever seen it. And to put it in perspective, where I am in Tennessee and where I grew up in Alabama, people who were Mexican Americans or who crossed the border, maybe illegally, I don't know. Of all the people I was exposed to, none of them seemed to have a lot of money. They were very hardworking people and they gained my respect. But it's not like they had more money than I did, right? By the time I was in high school, you could say I was right there in the middle of middle class. So I guess part of it's my own perspective of what it means to be wealthy. If I was in high school, by that point, middle of the middle class, but I've never seen either of those extremes. A homeless person that was Mexican or a wealthy person that was Mexican. And it's funny because even in my own video here, apparently you're wealthy if you can study abroad in Europe while you're in college. But that's another thing too, is in my lifetime, for you to be able to study abroad, it meant that you're going to college. So it's a matter of what I'm exposed to, where I live in my part of the world, what I've seen. So I can say it's a fact that I've never seen either or. Even though they definitely exist, I haven't been exposed to that. And I think that part is something interesting to point out. I think that says a lot about a culture, that it's hardworking, but are they ever getting ahead? And I want to close this video by saying, I hope so. That's what I want to see. I absolutely want to see Mexican Americans get ahead and be successful, to where I don't make a video and say, I've never seen a wealthy Mexican person. I want to continue saying I've never met a homeless Mexican person. I want to always say that. But I also want to say, yeah, I know lots of Mexican people and they are wealthy. Because I can say that easily about Jewish people, but I have yet to say that about Mexican people. And I want to see a future where I can say that and that becomes my truth. So, can we continue the conversation from here? Is there anyone at all who would actually relate to me and say, Nick, I can see what you're saying. I can see that. I guess I agree with you, actually. At this point, I'd be amazed if anyone is willing to say that they agree with me. What I'm really expecting is an ocean of comments of people saying that and you guessed it, that I'm ignorant, wrong, or immoral for what I've said in this video. But if there's anyone who actually agrees, I'd be amazed. Definitely leave a comment, because you'll probably be the only one. Comments right here.